The worst drought in centuries had struck the crab's pond. The water was disappearing so quickly that the crabs dug deeper and deeper into the mud, desperately trying to survive. But no matter how hard they worked, the pond kept drying up. One scorching afternoon, a clever heron landed beside the pond. "I have wonderful news," he announced. "A giant lake lies 100 miles from here. It has endless fresh water. I can carry each of you there safely in a shell." The young crab, exhausted from the heat, believed him and climbed into a shell. The other crabs watched with envy as the heron flew away. When the heron returned, he brought back a little water in the shell as proof. The crabs became even more convinced that he was telling the truth. What they didn't know was that danger was much closer than they imagined. The next trip was taken by a brave crab who dreamed of a better future. But instead of flying to a lake, the heron carried him to a tall tree where a frightening nest sat among the branches. There, the heron revealed his true intentions. "There is no lake," he laughed. "All your friends are already in my stomach, and now it's your turn." The crab was horrified. As the heron moved closer, the crab snapped his powerful claws around the bird's beak. The heron screamed in pain, struggling wildly. Both of them tumbled from the tree and crashed onto a pile of rocks below. The crab quickly squeezed into a narrow crack between the stones. The furious heron tried again and again to reach him, but failed every time. Finally, the heron gave up and flew back toward the pond, planning to trick the remaining crabs. The little crab knew his family was in terrible danger. He raced after the heron, but he was far too slow. Just then, a fox happened to pass by. Thinking quickly, the crab grabbed the fox's tail with all his strength. "Ow!" yelped the fox. Terrified and in pain, the fox bolted across the land at full speed, straight toward the pond. The crab had found himself a free, super-fast ride. By the time they arrived, the heron had already trapped many crabs inside shells. At the very last second, the crab released the fox's tail, launched himself through the air, and clamped onto the heron's neck. The heron choked and flapped wildly. In panic, he dropped the shells, and all the trapped crabs escaped. When the other crabs learned about the heron's disgusting deception, they were furious. Together, they swarmed him from every direction. The dishonest heron never fooled anyone again. Although they had defeated the predator, the drought was still not over. This time, the crabs decided not to trust any outsider. Instead, they trusted their own hard work. Every crab joined together and dug deeper into the earth day and night. Their determination paid off. On the third day, they discovered an underground river. Cool, fresh water rushed upward and filled the pond once again. The dried-up basin became a beautiful lake, sparkling under the sun. The crabs cheered with joy. From that day on, their family lived safely and happily, knowing that teamwork and perseverance were stronger than any trickster's lies.